All right. So we've only got 3 new emails from tonight. We've got Charlotte and Elbrus Ritual Sword drop rate up. This one's a tricky one, guys, and be careful, right? They demoed the new Rift, showing off Charlotte as a Rift character, and Elbrus Ritual Sword is one of the more important knight artifacts out there, and a lot of people will be chasing it. If you want to go for it, go for it. Just remember, I've said this before, I know I sound like a broken record, but we're rolling into summer, and summer is when they drop the summer limited units. There's always 2 new summer limited units and 2 rerun summer limited units. So Frida and Ida are going to happen soon, and then 2 new summer units happen, and new summer units usually are really, really good. Look at Lulakar, Ocean Breeze Lulaka. Look at Lethe. Not used much anymore, but in their time, they were disgustingly broken. Look at Frida and Ida. Ida's not used terribly much, but for a hot minute, she was really strong, and Frida is still one of the best units out there to have for a lot of Arena and Guild Wars. So these are units you go want. That's 4 limited units. And they usually happen within a couple weeks of each other. Now, the Frida Ida banner was in early September. The Ocean Breeze Lulaka banner, that was in June, I think. We don't know when they're going to come. We just know that they're going to come soon. So be careful about blowing through your bookmarks, blowing through your Skystones. They also typically do a custom group summon around the time of those banners as well, so you have access to older summer units, right? Older summer units like Seaside Bologna, older summer units like herself the Elf, Summer Break Asaria, or Ocean... Fuck, what's her name? Summertime Asaria, and Holiday Euphine, and Summer Break Charlotte, and all of the water dolls. If you want any of those units, you might want to save up for that custom group summon as well. So be careful chasing these units, especially if you're chasing it just because you saw it demoed in Rift. Let some of the experts break down Rift, unpack Rift, and figure out what all is needed. We ran into this last year where lots of people went ham on the Ice Chloe banner because Ice Chloe was demoed for Rift, and everybody thought she was going to be instrumental for Rift, and then it turned out Fene soloed the whole thing, and you didn't need Ice Chloe at all. Maybe Robin will be like that. Maybe you're not going to need Charlotte at all. Maybe there'll be alternatives to her. So give it a few days before you just dive deep on the Charlotte banner. My general recommendation, especially if you're free to play, is you don't touch it at all. And we got Robin and the Assassin's Pledge drop rate up. So she is not limited, for those of you who are wondering. Rift units are never limited, but their story events take 5 to 6 months to appear in the story summons. So if you figure I will just story summon her later, you probably aren't going to be able to story summon her before Rift is gone. So if you don't get her now, you don't get to use her for Rift at all until Smilegate does a paid banner where you can buy a pack that lets you recreate her banner. So you either get her now, you pay to get her later, or you randomly luck sack into her, or you just don't get to use her for this Rift, and then you can pull her after Rift is done. And will she be good outside of Rift? Probably. She looks like it. It looks like, unlike Fene, they're leaning more PvP with Robin, which might give her a shorter window of usefulness, but they seem to try to have moved away from what they did to poor Kayn, right? Kayn only had one job, it was Rift, and when Rift was gone, so was Kayn. They came out with Wukong, and they tried to make Wukong PvP viable, and he kind of was. Some people are able to use Wukong in PvP. Some people are finding uses for him. He's great as the DPS unit in Ice Expedition. For those of you who don't want to build Fenris, Wukong is an excellent replacement. And then they went to Fene, and they went overboard, and they made her like the most broken PvE unit ever. Not so much for PvP, but theoretically usable there. I think they might dial it down a little bit with Robin as far as being overpowered for Rift. I think she's going to be probably able to solo it at high ends of Rift, but I doubt she'll solo it right from the beginning, but we'll have to see. People will think she'll solo it right from the beginning, just like Fene. I think they want people to pull on the Charlotte banner. And if they make Robin solo Rift right from the beginning, who's going to pull for Charlotte? So I don't think she'll be quite as Fene instrumental in Rift, which is good because that might open us up to multiple different options. But should you pull for Robin? Yes. I know. I just got done saying there's all these limited units coming. There's all these summer units coming. All this crap is happening. Save your bookmarks and everything. And then I'm turning around saying, pull for this non-limited unit. Here's the thing, right? If she is as important to Rift as we think she's going to be, she is the key to getting gear for your account. And gear, this is a gear-based game. The units are kind of secondary. You can achieve this game playing only 3-star units and maybe a handful of 4-star and rip through it if you've got the gear. We've got people that climb into Emperor and Legend just playing 3-star units because they have the gear. And how do you have the gear? You get the gear by farming hunts and Rift. So if there is a unit that is instrumental to Rift, you want that unit on your account. Now, if you cannot afford to get Robin and the next limited banner and you're hardcore free to play, then you do what you got to do. Maybe you just stick to hunts and you pass on Robin for now. Limiteds are more important than non-limiteds, but she is going to be giga strong in Rift. You can also do the smart thing and wait a couple of days. Wait a couple of days and see how we unpack Rift. Maybe we find a free-to-play way to get through Rift without Robin. We have done it for every Rift there has ever been, with the exception of the last one. The last one, we did have Fene ways to beat it, but they were terrible, and you may as well have just farmed Hunt. We'll have to see if she is required or just makes it really, really easy, and then you can decide whether or not it's worth it to pull for Robin. But, I'm definitely pulling for Robin. She looks amazing. She's a cool-ass unit. Her artifact is stupid. Her design is stupid. Her kit is stupid. I'm very excited for her. Okay, let's get into the updated content for today. Remember, today there is no maintenance tonight, so we're going to go straight into Rift at 11 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Rift will activate. Robin's banner will go live, and I will probably punch go live myself. We'll do our Robin pulls. Maybe I'll jump in a room with Sue, a couple other big brains, and we will start unpacking and theory crafting Rift. My goal tonight is to get some of the big brains together. Maybe we do Nox streams and co-streams, or we get in rooms and we try to figure out the best ways to do Rift all together. We'll see if I can make that happen. Updated content tonight. New Rift season begins. As we discussed, Rift is coming. For those of you unfamiliar with what Rift is, who are brand new to the game, Rift is basically Wyvern 14 or Golem 14. It's the next evolution of hunts. Now, while hunts still give you special drops like mystics and bookmarks, and some people prioritize that kind of stuff, you do you. Rift doesn't drop those, but Rift drops significantly more gear. Rift is a gold positive farm, and by that I mean when you farm hunt, half of the gear you get is in the form of crafting mats that you then have to go to the steel workshop and craft into gear, and it costs gold to craft that stuff into gear. With Rift, you just get the gear. You don't have to spend gold to get the gear, so it is significant savings. Farming hunts can actually cost you more gold than the hunts pay out, and then you got to go farm other places to get the gold, whereas Rift always makes more gold than it costs, so gives you the leftover gold that you're going to need to upgrade the gear. So pound for pound, when it comes to gear, Rift is significantly better than hunts. Calling out Hunt 14 is not even fair, especially since there are no hunts 13 and 14 anymore. Now there's just normal, hard, and hell. Well, it's like we skip right past Epic Hell and go into Ultra Nightmare, and that's Rift, as far as the quality of gear that drops. Now, other places that hunts are better, hunts drop reforged mats more reliably. You get more reforged mats from Rift than you do from Hunt, but Hunt you get specific reforged mats. If you're like, I only need Wyvern reforged mats, you can farm Wyvern and get Wyvern reforged mats. But if you farm Rift, although you might get more reforged mats, it could be Golem, it could be Azamanic, it could be Banshee. You could not see Wyvern mats for 20 runs. It's a 1 in 5 chance of getting the reforged mats you want, so it's a little harder to get targeted specific reforged mats. They both drop the posters at the same rate when it comes to expedition posters per stamina spent. They're real similar in gold drop rates. So I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is if you need gear, you farm Rift. If you need reforge mats, you farm hunts. Everything else is up to you. So the false authority Acalypton. That's how I'm going to say it. So the way Rift works is you get to select 4 gear sets from a list. Does it show us the list? Of course not. So you get to select 4 gear sets, and that's what makes Rift so nice, right? If you go and farm Wyvern, you're chasing speed gear, right? Nobody goes, time to get me some hit sets. Let's go farm Wyvern, right? Nobody wants hit sets. Few people want crit sets. You're there for the speed sets. Well, if you farm Rift, you can say, only give me speed sets and the 3 other sets that I want. So you can farm speed set, counter set, pen set, and protection set. And you can pick the best of the best, and those are the only 4 sets that can drop. So you don't have to be like, okay, let's go get me some pen sets. Yay, more revenge and injury. Exactly what I didn't want. Lets you focus on the sets that you need, and that's kind of nice. And it also lets you focus on the sets for reforge mats that you have. And I can't stress this enough. If you're trying to figure out what sets to chase in Rift, go check your backpack. Go over to your backpack and look at your enhancement ingredients and check out your supply of reforge mats. I should be setting my Rift to farming Azamanic gear and Golem gear. Maybe a little Banshee gear. I should not be chasing Katie's gear or Wyvern gear, because I only have enough reforge mats to do 1 to 2 pieces. Like if I get speed and protection, or speed and torrent and pen, I'm gonna get all this gear that I can't reforge. I should be chasing protection set, HP set. I should be chasing immunity set, maybe some rage and unity sets. And that way I can be using these reforge mats so that as I get good pieces, I can bam, 90 them right away, while I'm also passively farming random reforge mat drops that maybe raise these numbers up higher. And once these numbers get into the 4 digits, then I can shift my gear around. Chase the gear that you can upgrade. If you don't have any reforge mats, you can't get anything, then why are you farming a bunch of level 85 gear that you can never turn into 90 gear? Go focus on the hunts. If I want to farm a whole bunch of speed gear in Rift, I'm going to spend a few days farming Wyvern to get my reforge mats up. Just a little pro tip for min-maxing your Rift experience. Now, be aware there is also a battle pass inside of Rift, and this battle pass is huge. It's got reforge match selection boxes loaded in it, which can help out as you're climbing through Rift. So early on, you can kind of farm anything you want because you can use these selection boxes to get the reforge mats you need, but you may want to hang on to these for later. That's up to you. The battle pass is huge and it's worth it. And even if you don't plan on sticking to Rift, even if you plan on going back to hunts, you still want to do it for the battle pass. The stuff in here is really, really good. In general, you will have to get to about RC 14 to RC 16 range to clear out the entire battle pass. Rift is typically 4 to 6 months long. Don't burn leafs or sky stones to power through this battle pass. It's not worth it. You got months to do it. Just let it come naturally. Save your resources for farming events and you know, when there's important special events that you want to, you specifically want to dive into. If you're planning on naturally dumping all of your leaves and stuff into Rift, that's fine, but don't. There's no reason to get this in 2 weeks instead of in 6 months. It doesn't refresh or reset until the whole ass new Rift comes out. As you progress through Rift, your Rift controller level will increase. Rift is one of the weirdest PvE contents out there, in that the more you do it, the easier it gets to beat. It is hardest to beat early on because you don't have any increased damage boost at Rift Controller 1. You don't have any of these special Rift controllers that make life easier. By the time you get to Rift Controller 1, you're doing like 80% more damage. You've got all of these things that make life easier. So if you jump in there and it takes you 3 or 4 runs to beat it, that's probably okay. It might take you 3 runs to beat it down here, 2 runs to beat it down here, and then by the time you're here, you're soloing, or you're doing it in 1 run, and down here, you're doing it in 1 run that's so freaking fast that it's almost as fast as farming hunts. So again, tonight or tomorrow, maybe both, we will be streaming and brainstorming on ways to beat Rift with all kinds of different teams and trying to help you guys come up with the best solutions. As for mechanics, they didn't really tell us anything, did they? They gave us the basics, right? The basics of how Rift works. How you know, you've got 3 shots to go in, and if you fail 3 times, it resets and you lose any stamina you might have put into it. How much it costs each time you go back in, all that kind of jazz, but they've not really told us. They didn't tell us anything about the Rift fragments or what they do. The icons are similar, but we don't know if their abilities are the same yet. They didn't tell us anything about the boss's mechanics. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We won't know for sure until Rift goes live here. I guess when China or Asia server is going to get access to this early. So we'll definitely be watching and listening to what happens in the Asia server to get some ideas on it. The assumption from the video is, one thing we noticed in the video is everybody on the team did AoE, so we're assuming AoE units are going to be important. There was a knight in the front, so we assume you're going to want a knight in the front row. So Charlotte and Fire Cecilia feel really strong for this. They showcased Aramentha, and Robin also does tons of burns, so we assume units that drop burns or debuffs in general are going to be important. So units like Carrot are probably going to be up there. We know that they all have to be fire units. Aros would probably not work because Aros doesn't do any debuffs. He only has 1 AoE skill, and you cannot dual attack in Rift. You cannot dual attack inside of Rift, so don't think about, I'm just going to dual attack my way through this. But we'll see. We got to know more about the mechanics on this, and we will all find out together tonight. But be excited for new Rift, man. I love me some Rift. Robin is coming out tonight. No maintenance. You're going to go right into the Robin banner. So everybody's going to be pulling for her. Make sure you got the resources to put her together. God damn, she looks good.
Guess I could use a warm-up. Been a while since I had fun. Should have stayed in the Night's Lane, darlings. Then again, who am I to say? Looks like I'm still in one piece.
So fucking cool. I'm so looking forward to Robin. I'm not going to go over her kit again. There's a whole ass video about that. Search TristenWulf Robin if you want to see my first reactions about this unit and her artifact, whether or not you should pull for her. The answer is yes, duh. A new side story. Beast and Steel Jaws. So Robin's going to have her own side story. It means she is going to be a side story character. You are going to be able to reactivate her down the road. But remember, the time when you can take a side story character and create a banner from them again is usually a longer window than Rift exists. So don't expect to just be able to create her side story later and pull her in time for Rift. It probably won't happen. If you don't get her in this period of time while her banner is up, you'll either have to luck sack her from random pulls, or you'll have to wait until Smilegate sells you the $10 pack that lets you have the privilege of creating her banner. You know they're going to do that. They've done that every time. Typical standard side story, nothing special. Her drop rate up is active until June the 12th. I invite you guys to not touch her banner until a couple of days have passed, and you see if you can do Rift without her. You see if she is a must pick or a must pass for newer players. That is the smart move. That is the smart move. Give it 2 to 3 days. See if we figure out ways to do Rift without her. It's a 4 to 6 month long event, guys. Missing 2 days is not going to harm your account. See if she's good outside of Rift, see if there are ways to do Rift without her, and then decide if she's worth your precious bookmarks going into the summer season, going into the ever-present glooming cloud of a collab on the horizon, going into Anniversary when you know things are going to drop like crazy. It's a game of resource management, and probably the most paramount part of resource management is doing your research before you spend your resources. So give it a little bit of time. Charlotte, already said everything I'm going to say on that. And we've got our coin shop rotation. This was spoiled already a little bit by China, but it looks like the banners in the coin shop, or the units in the coin shop, are going to be Kisei, Pavel, and Rowana. And on the ML coin shop, it's going to be Balances on, Sea Phantom PP, and Loser Charles. Guys, Sea Phantom Politis in the coin shop, one of the strongest units in the game, is huge right now. So if you're sitting there on the fence of, do I pick up Dragon King Sharoon? Do I pick up Spirit Eye Celine? Or do I grab Sea Phantom Politis? Well, you got some choices to make, buddy. You got some choices to make. Remember, once this shop goes live tonight at 11 o'clock, the others won't go away. I'm sorry, the others will go away, so you got to make some choices as to which ones you want. Closer Charles is getting a... Closer Charles is useful in Azumanic, and other than that, he just really needs another buff to be usable. Balances on is really nice anti-cleave, but you've got a lot of anti-cleave options. Sea Phantom Politis, one of the strongest units in the game. If you don't have her and you're sitting on 40 coins, I can't think of anybody that I would recommend spending 40 coins on more than Sea Phantom Politis, who is likely to appear in future Galaxy shops. But you can always do the same thing. You can wait until the last day of this rotation and see who's next before you pick up your Sea Phantom Poly. Other improvements and adjustments. Lucky Week Dash Pack. So the Lucky Week Dash Pack is going on sale. Great. Go for it if you want. I believe, is this the thing where like the last summon is a ML, or the last summon is a 5-star and the 9th summon is a artifact and it costs like $30? It's an okay value. It's an okay value for newer players who don't have a lot of units. It's an okay value. I typically don't get it because it doesn't do much for my account, but if you like the gotcha of it, go for it. It's $30. You decide if you want to spend $30 on a guaranteed 5-star artifact and a unit and 8 other random units chances. 5-star hero Renak now has special dialogue when encountering Robin. Woohoo! And recommended content tags for June will be added to certain heroes. Oh my god! I don't know what that means. Okay, that's it, guys. That is it. Still no information about the 10 loner heroes for RTA. I'm not going to let you guys forget about that, Smilegate. You promised 10 loner heroes for RTA. Where is it? We're in the season. Where is it? Make that happen. You still have not mentioned the Constellation event, which I assume is coming next week, because that's when the big news drop's going to be. We still haven't mentioned Ancient Inheritance. I think based on the normal rotation, Ancient Inheritance should come out right around June 16th, middle of June. So be aware that that's going to be looming up on us soon. There's still no mention of summer units yet. And guys, we're rolling into June. The pools are open. Where's our summer units? It's a midweek, or it's a between maintenance content. We knew it wasn't going to be a lot, but hey, I'm hyped for Robin. Yeah. Please, and this, for real, this, right? There are so many ML5s in the game. It is unconscionable that there's only 3 in here now. They need to bump this up to at least 4, ideally 5. I think it's only fair. 3 was fine 2 to 3 years ago when they started doing this. But now I think we need 4 to 5 units in the shop, because the whole point of Galaxy Coins was you pulled dupes and they wanted to take some of the sting out of pulling a dupe. by letting you basically have a selector after you got duped out 4 times, and by only running old units, off meta units, not very good units, and just the occasional one good unit in there. And I mean, it's real heckin' occasional. These past 2 shops have been the only ones in recent memory that have had good units in it. They really need to up this a little bit and give us more options to make this feel a little bit less awful. But there you go, guys. That is your entire content. I hope you guys will join me tonight and tomorrow for unpacking Rift. I'm looking forward to doing that. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, Epic 7.